Welcome to the Explainer. So today we're going to talk about this mystery AI model that basically just appeared out of thin air, and its specs, well, they seemed way too good to be true. But what's really wild is how this whole thing kicked off an insane competition and ended up crowning let's just say, a very unexpected champion.
All right, let's get right into it. The whole thing kicked off when a couple of these so-called stealth models just popped up on a platform called OpenRouter. And, as soon as that happened, the entire AI community just went wild with speculation. So you might be wondering, what's a stealth model? Well, it's pretty much what it sounds like. It's an anonymous AI that gets released out into the wild, to see how it actually handles real-world tests. And these new ones, they had a pretty cool name, Sherlock Alpha. And why was everyone freaking out? Get this, an insane 1.8 million token context window. For an AI, that's like giving it a superpowered short-term memory. It means it can process a huge amount of information all in one go. I mean, just look at how that number stacks up against the competition. It's not just a little bigger, it's nearly double what the heavy hitters like Google's Gemini and Anthropic's Claude have. So on paper, this thing looked like an absolute monster. Naturally, a spec sheet like that had everyone online asking the exact same thing. Who made this? And the rumor mill started spinning fast. The top theory that bubbled up was that this had to be Grok 4.2, from Elon Musk's XAI. But here's the thing, right? Big numbers on a spec sheet are one thing. How it actually performs in the real world, that's a whole different story. So of course, people started putting it through its paces with some real coding challenges. Okay, first test up, a pretty simple one. Hey, AI, build me a working Flappy Bird game. And right off the bat, we got a weird split result. Turns out there were two versions of Sherlock, Think, which is the reasoning model, and Dash. Think absolutely nailed it, made a perfect game. Dash, however, totally bombed, a complete failure.
Okay, so then the tests started getting tougher. People were asking for things like a virtual DJ console. And that's when the cracks really started to show. The failures just piled up. Both versions of Sherlock were spitting out blank screens or just totally busted code. All that initial hype? Yeah, it was disappearing, and fast. And the feedback from the testers? Oh, it was brutal. I mean, this quote just says it all. You could feel the frustration. It was becoming super clear that this giant context window, it just wasn't translating into code that actually worked. What's funny is that Sherlock's terrible performance ended up leading to something kind of amazing. The community basically rallied around a single specific prompt, and it became this new unofficial stress test for any coding AI. The idea was simple. If your model can handle this, then it's legit. And here's the key part. The challenge wasn't just to make something that looked like a PS5 controller. Nope. It had to be fully functional. The analog sticks needed to actually move. The buttons had to be clickable. It's a way tougher front-end coding task than it sounds. So what happened when Sherlock faced this new ultimate test? It failed spectacularly. Both versions. That mystery model with the record-breaking specs, officially a bust, case closed.
But that failure led to a way more interesting question. Okay, so if this brand new model with its insane specs couldn't do it, could any of the big guys, the established players? Did the community accidentally invent a test that was just impossible for any AI right now?
And just like that, an impromptu showdown began. Testers everywhere started throwing this one surprisingly hard challenge at every major AI model they could get their hands on. The PS5 controller test was now the official gauntlet. So one after another, the biggest names in AI stepped up to the plate, and one by one, they just struck out. ChatGPT's attempt, labeled total and utter trash. Google Stitch, embarrassing. And get this, Baidu's Ernie Motter didn't even try to write code. It just handed back a static picture of a controller. You can't make this stuff up. So after this absolute battlefield of failure, it honestly started to look like maybe the test was impossible, like an accidental discovery of the absolute limit of today's AI. But then, one model actually did it. So the big question is, after all that carnage, who actually passed the test? Who built the working PS5 controller? Which AI was able to take that complex request and turn it into clean, working code? The winner, and it wasn't even close, was Claude 4.5 Sonic.
I mean, it really wasn't even a competition. As this quote says, it just crushed it. The output was a clean, fully working controller. We're talking analog sticks that moved, buttons you could click. It just left every single other model in the dust. The testers were, understandably, blown away. All right, so here it is, the final scorecard from this wild, impromptu AI showdown. And yeah, it's basically a sea of red fails with one bright, shining success. We got to give an honorable mention to Kimmy K2. It got kind of close, but Claude was the only one to truly stick the landing, proving it had some serious coding skills, at least for this particular job. So what do we learn from this whole saga? It's actually pretty simple. Specs on a piece of paper and all the marketing hype in the world, they don't mean everything. Just think about it. The model that won this thing has almost half the context window of the mystery model that started it all. At the end of the day, it's all about practical, real-world performance. That's the only thing that really matters. And that leaves us with a final question to chew on. We know new AI models are going to keep coming out, and they're going to have even bigger, crazier numbers on their spec sheets. So where should we really be looking? At the hype and the marketing? Or at the actual results from tough, practical tests, just like this one? Something to think about. Thanks for watching.